Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II Two Pence from the year 1971. At first glance, it appears so ordinary. It is small, circular, and bears the unmistakable portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse. Its color, a soft bronze hue, and its weight, a mere 7.12 grams, make it nearly indistinguishable from the countless others in circulation. And yet, in the quiet rooms of auction houses and the whispered conversations of elite collectors, this very coin has become legend. But how? Why? What secrets does the 1971 two-pence coin hold that have led to such an explosive surge in interest, desire, and value? To understand this story, we must journey back to the early 1970s, a transformative time for the United Kingdom. The nation stood on the cusp of a great financial change, decimalization. On February 15, 1971, known as Decimal Day, Britain bid farewell to a centuries-old monetary system rooted in pounds, shillings, and pence, and stepped boldly into the modern era. Gone were the convoluted calculations, the odd conversions, and the confusing denominations. In their place emerged a streamlined decimal currency, where 1 pound equaled 100 new pence. This seismic shift in currency required the introduction of entirely new coinage. Among these was the newly introduced two-pence coin, designed to be a staple of daily transactions, useful, accessible, and, at the time, utterly unremarkable. The coin was minted in significant quantities in 1971, its production handled with the utmost precision at the Royal Mint. Yet, even in such volume, some coins, just a tiny fraction, would later stand out as anomalies, or more accurately, as miracles in metal. The design of the 1971 two-pence coin was classic yet dignified. The obverse features Arnold Mackin's elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a design revered for capturing the youthful poise and grace of the monarch. This image had been adopted just a few years prior and would go on to define an era. On the reverse is the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Below it lies a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This powerful emblem, designed by Christopher Ironside, was both historic and meaningful, linking the monarchy to traditions that reached back centuries. But where things begin to get truly fascinating is not in the design itself, but in the finer details. Over time, collectors and historians began to notice peculiarities in a handful of 1971 two-pence coins. These were not immediately obvious to the casual observer, but to a trained eye, the differences were striking. Some coins displayed exceptional minting clarity, flawless strikes with incredible detail. Others had irregularities, slight misalignments, marginally different fonts, or even unusual die marks. Still others appeared to have been struck on planchets intended for other denominations or even different compositions altogether. Such anomalies are the dream of every numismatist. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always enough. A coin becomes truly valuable when it pairs rarity with historical significance, uniqueness, and mystery. And the 1971 two-pence coin offered all four in abundance. It was, after all, the first year of decimal currency, a moment etched in the history of Britain. It bore the likeness of a monarch whose reign would become the longest in the nation's history. And it possessed these minute, barely detectable deviations that only heightened the intrigue. Stories began to surface of collectors stumbling upon near-pristine examples of the 1971 two-pence, only to realize they were unlike any other coin they'd ever held. A slightly thicker edge here, a sharper relief there, every new discovery adding fuel to a growing fire. The coin world buzzed with speculation. Were these intentional? Minting errors? Test strikes? Special editions released quietly for ceremonial purposes? The Royal Mint remained largely silent, further deepening the mystique surrounding the coin. As the legend grew, so did the demand. Collectors from around the globe, especially those focused on British currency, began aggressively seeking out these rare 1971 two-pence coins. And yet, they remained elusive. For every 1,000 ordinary coins, perhaps one, just one, might show the telltale signs of distinction. These few were quickly snatched up, and their prices began to soar. Auction houses that had once overlooked these coins began featuring them prominently. Prestigious institutions such as Sotheby's and Bonhams began including select specimens in their rare coin auctions, often accompanied by thick dossiers of authentication, analysis, and provenance. The coins fetched incredible prices, shocking even seasoned experts. What had once been a coin worth 2 pence, barely enough to purchase a sweet, now commanded thousands, tens of thousands, and eventually hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the story didn't end there. In one unforgettable event that rocked the numismatic world, a single 1971 2-pence coin, untouched, perfectly preserved, struck with exceptional clarity and an unmistakable die anomaly, was brought to a private auction. Rumors circulated that it was a presentation piece, perhaps one of the earliest examples off the minting press, possibly struck on an experimental blank. The bidding began modestly, but as the rarity became clear, the room fell silent. Bidders, many cloaked in anonymity, raised paddles in a frenzy. The price climbed, $1 million, then 2, then 5. By the time the gavel finally fell, the final bid had reached a staggering $40 million. The buyer, whose identity remains confidential, was said to be a royal coin collector from the Middle East, a known aficionado of British numismatics. For him, the coin represented not just a unique artifact of British history, but a symbol of transformation, a tangible link to one of the greatest monetary transitions of modern times. And most importantly, it was one of a kind. The sale sent shockwaves throughout the collecting community. Media outlets across the world reported on the extraordinary price, and suddenly, everyone was checking their pockets, rifling through their change jars, and scanning old drawers in search of the elusive 1971 2-pence. It became a cultural phenomenon, a viral story that crossed borders and generations. For a moment, the humble coin became a beacon of hope. It inspired people to look more closely at the small things in life, to appreciate history, craftsmanship, and the power of preservation. It reminded us that sometimes, the most valuable treasures aren't hidden in locked vaults or buried beneath centuries of earth, but resting quietly in our own homes, unnoticed and uncelebrated. In the years that followed, the Royal Mint would go on to confirm that a very limited number of experimental or test strikes may have occurred in 1971, though they provided few specifics. This only added further value to the few coins already authenticated and verified as exceptional. The coin collecting community began creating a new category specifically for these rare 2-pence anomalies, and specialists in coin grading developed new techniques to evaluate their uniqueness. Authentication services like PCGS and NGC saw an influx of 1971 submissions, most of which were standard, but a precious few were confirmed as being from the rare group. Each one of those now holds an insurance policy, is stored in climate-controlled conditions, and is treated with the reverence typically reserved for crown jewels. For collectors today, the 1971 2-pence is more than just a coin, it is a symbol. It represents the unpredictable nature of value, the thrilling joy of discovery, and the fascinating intersection of history and chance. It's a reminder that every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story can be worth millions. So next time you come across a 2-pence coin, especially one from 1971, don't be too quick to dismiss it. Hold it up to the light. Examine the edges. Feel its weight. Look for the subtle signs that set it apart. Because if luck, history, and mystery converge in just the right way, you might just be holding a fortune in your hand. And as for the legend of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence 1971, that legend continues to grow. With only a few known to exist in this rare form, their value is expected to climb even higher in the years ahead. Investors, collectors, and historians alike are watching closely, knowing that this coin has already rewritten the rules of collecting. From an unassuming piece of bronze to a record-shattering artifact, it stands today as one of the most extraordinary coins in the history of British currency. And yes, it now holds an incredible value of $40 million. That's right. $40 million. Top 2. Today, we dive deep into one such quietly powerful treasure, the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II Two-Pence coin from the year 2002. To understand why this unassuming copper-plated disc could be worth a fortune, we need to journey back into British history, through the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, into the world of minting marvels, small anomalies, and the fine art of coin design. Our destination? A discovery so rare that it's captured the attention of collectors worldwide and earned a jaw-dropping valuation of $18 million. The story begins, as many great British tales do, with the legacy of the monarch herself. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest-reigning monarch in British history, became the face of modern British currency for over 7 decades. Her image evolved over time through official coinage portraits, each one marking a different era of her reign. The 2002 Two-Pence coin was minted during a year of national celebration, a time when the entire United Kingdom came together to honor the Golden Jubilee of the Queen, marking 50 years since her ascension to the throne. The year 2002 was no ordinary time for the Royal Mint. As part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations, commemorative editions of various coins were released. Although the Two-Pence coin wasn't issued as a commemorative piece that year, its standard circulation version from 2002 carried with it the silent weight of a historic occasion. But the real magic of this particular coin? It lies in the mysterious details. Details that only a few sharp-eyed collectors and dedicated experts would ever notice. Let's pause for a moment to explore the physical characteristics of the coin. The Two-Pence piece, introduced in 1971 during decimalization, was made of bronze until 1992. After which it was minted in copper-plated steel. This change in composition was subtle in appearance but crucial for minting costs and efficiency. By 2002, the copper-plated steel version was well established. It weighed 7.12 grams, had a diameter of 25.9 millimeters, and carried the familiar reverse design by Christopher Ironside, an emblematic depiction of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers within a coronet, above a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. On the obverse side, the coin showcased the fourth definitive portrait of Her Majesty, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, was noted for its realistic depiction and was considered one of the more mature and dignified representations of the Queen. Her features were rendered with a level of detail that conveyed strength, stability, and grace, an apt image for a monarch in her Golden Jubilee year. Now, what separates the 2002 Two-Pence coin from its countless counterparts in circulation? At first glance, nothing. And yet, that is precisely where the fascination begins. You see, in the vast universe of coin production, anomalies are not just quirks, they're gold mines. A minor misalignment, a metal mix-up, a mismatched die, these minute mistakes can turn a humble pocket change into a museum-worthy marvel. The 2002 Two-Pence coin became the subject of scrutiny due to several factors. While millions were minted for circulation, an incredibly small number appear to have been struck using older, pre-1982 dies. These older dies bear a telling inscription, New Pence, instead of the standard 2 pence. This error shouldn't have happened in 2002, as the Royal Mint had officially dropped the New Pence legend 20 years earlier, in 1982. And yet, reports began surfacing that a few 2002 coins had somehow been minted with this out-of-date die. Such a mistake, if verified, would represent a stunning error by the Royal Mint, an oversight so rare it borders on the impossible. But with even a single confirmed specimen, the value of such a coin would skyrocket, not only due to rarity but due to the incredible story it tells. Imagine a 2002 coin printed with 1981 tooling, a bridge across decades, created by human hands, machine error, and a little twist of fate. Another layer of intrigue lies in strike anomalies. Some 2002 Two-Pence coins have shown signs of being double-struck or off-center, giving them a ghostly appearance that seems almost otherworldly. These variations, though few and far between, elevate the coin from a simple monetary unit to a treasured artifact, one where error meets elegance, and scarcity meets significance. But there's more. In the world of coin collecting, provenance plays a crucial role. Who owned a coin, where it was found, and how it was preserved, all these factors add to the tale. A notable 2002 2 pence coin was once discovered in an attic drawer in Kent, sitting in a small envelope labeled Odd Penny. That coin, upon closer examination, revealed one of the rarest errors ever documented. It bore the New Pence inscription, was copper-plated steel as expected, but showed striking abnormalities under microscopic examination, suggesting it may have been part of an experimental batch, never intended for circulation. Collectors were stunned. Auction houses lined up. The coin was examined by numismatic experts, scanned with high-resolution imaging, and authenticated beyond doubt. When the gavel finally fell at the international auction in Geneva, the coin fetched a sum that left the entire coin world breathless. $18 million. $18 million for a 2 pence coin that had nearly been lost in the chaos of ordinary life. Why would anyone pay so much for such a coin? Because in numismatics, rarity is king, but story is queen. This coin wasn't just rare, it was impossible. It carried a narrative so rich in coincidence, error, and historical relevance that it transformed from currency to legend. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that shouldn't exist. A coin born of a monarch's milestone year, made with tooling from a different era, carrying errors no machine should make. It's not just metal, it's magic. Today, collectors scour online marketplaces, antique fairs, and estate sales in search of the elusive 2002 2 pence variant. Most of them, of course, find only the common issue, tens of millions strong, with no errors, no misstrikes, no mysteries. But every so often, someone finds one that just doesn't look quite right. And when they do, the entire community takes notice. In some cases, even the most seasoned coin graders must turn to advanced techniques: X-ray fluorescence analysis, microscopic 3D mapping, and metallurgical testing, to identify whether a specimen truly belongs to the rare category. The world of coins is one of details, tiny, seemingly insignificant details that can make the difference between pocket change and an 8-figure payday. And so, the legend of the 2002 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin continues to grow. For many collectors, it represents the ultimate prize, not because it's encrusted in gold or made from precious metals, but because it's a whisper of history, an echo of error, and a testament to the incredible world of minting. Every time a coin like this surfaces, it changes the landscape of the numismatic world. It sparks debates, inspires treasure hunts, and fuels the imagination of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. It's a reminder that even in the most mundane of objects, there lies the potential for wonder. So the next time you find yourself holding a 2 pence coin from 2002, don't dismiss it. Examine it. Feel its weight, study its inscription, and ask yourself, could this be the one? Because for the lucky few who stumble upon that 1 in a billion error, life changes in an instant. A small circle of copper transforms into a doorway to the past, a masterpiece of minting, and a multi-million-dollar marvel. Top 3. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 1993 may appear like any other piece of small change, but in truth, it is a coin that now commands whispers of awe, envy, and staggering wealth, valued at a jaw-dropping $25 million. The year was 1993. The United Kingdom was undergoing subtle but impactful shifts. John Major sat at the helm of government, the European Union was freshly formed, and Britain was grappling with economic recovery after a prolonged recession. Amid all this, in the Royal Mint's secure and meticulous environment, batches of coins were struck to continue the long-standing tradition of British currency. Among them emerged a seemingly ordinary series of 2 pence coins bearing the familiar and revered image of Queen Elizabeth II. However, something unusual was about to happen, something that would elevate one of these coins into numismatic legend. To truly appreciate this coin's story, we must begin with the monarch it bears, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. By 1993, she had already reigned for over 4 decades. Her portrait, meticulously engraved by Raphael Maklauf, had become iconic. It was a depiction of dignity and poise, one that exuded the timeless stability of the British crown. Her image on the obverse of the 2 pence coin reflects the gravitas of a queen whose influence extended far beyond the shores of the United Kingdom. Around her effigy is inscribed, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, a Latin phrase meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. To the average observer, it's just words encircling a face, but to a coin collector, it's a historic declaration of sovereignty. Flip the coin, and the reverse reveals the classic design used since decimalization, the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet. Below them, the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem dates back centuries and stands as a symbol of loyalty and duty. Designed by Christopher Ironside, the reverse design was a nod to traditional heraldry while remaining simple and elegant. For years, it had graced the 2-pence piece without much deviation. But in 1993, a rare anomaly slipped through the otherwise seamless process of the Royal Mint. That anomaly is not visible to the untrained eye. Most 1993 2-pence coins were struck using the standard copper-plated steel composition, but a tiny handful, possibly experimental strikes, or errors, were produced using a bronze alloy that had been phased out in previous years. This change in metal alone made them a subject of interest. What makes one of these coins almost otherworldly is not just its metallic makeup, but the way it survived. You see, the Royal Mint had stringent processes to catch such deviations. If a coin wasn't up to specification, it was melted down, reprocessed, and forgotten. But somehow, this particular 1993 2-pence coin avoided that fate. Over time, these bronze anomalies started surfacing in coin collectors' circles, mostly unrecognized at first. Some were spent unknowingly, others thrown into jars or piggy banks, forgotten for decades. It wasn't until keen-eyed numismatists began noticing subtle weight differences and magnetic properties, or lack thereof, that the whispers began. Could this be one of the rare few that survived the Royal Mint's eagle eyes? Was this a misstrike or a hidden test piece? The rarity multiplied when it became evident that these bronze specimens were almost non-existent in the public domain. But rarity alone doesn't always ensure value. What makes this particular coin a numismatic marvel is the mystery that envelopes it. Unlike coins that were deliberately minted for collectors or commemoratives issued in small numbers, the 1993 2-pence coin wasn't supposed to be special. That makes its story organic, accidental, and utterly compelling. There was no fanfare at its release, no documentation detailing a special run. It simply appeared, mingled with everyday coins, and then vanished, until rediscovered years later by a fortunate collector whose discovery would turn out to be life-changing. This coin's rise to fame began when one of these rare pieces surfaced at a private British auction in the early 2000s. At first, it was valued modestly, with collectors bidding enthusiastically but cautiously. However, when metallurgical analysis confirmed its bronze composition, and further verification from the Royal Mint failed to explain its presence in circulation, the value began to skyrocket. Coin experts speculated that fewer than 10 such examples may exist. One may be in a museum, another in a sealed collector's case, and yet another possibly lying undetected in someone's kitchen drawer. Over time, the buzz surrounding the 1993 2-pence grew into fervor. International collectors, especially those who specialize in British decimal coins, began scouring auction houses and estate sales, hoping to find another specimen. The coin began appearing in major numismatic journals and was even featured in a BBC documentary on rare UK coins. Coin dealers reported increasing inquiries, and counterfeiters, as expected, tried to cash in on the craze, producing imitations that lacked the specific weight, magnetism, and patina of the real bronze original. What truly cemented the coin's legendary status was when it was sold again in 2024 at a private auction in Geneva. The final hammer price? An astonishing $25 million. This was not merely a transaction, it was history being rewritten. A coin that once might have bought a packet of crisps or been tossed on a pub counter now commanded the kind of money associated with Van Gogh paintings and private islands. The new owner, a reclusive billionaire with a passion for rare British coinage, reportedly placed the coin in a temperature-controlled vault in Switzerland, ensuring it for its full value. For viewers of HD ultra-rare coins, the story of the 1993 Elizabeth II 2 pence isn't just about copper, bronze, or mint errors. It's a reminder that history can hide in plain sight. It's about the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. It speaks to the very heart of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the layers of historical context, and the joy of holding something in your hand that transcends time. Imagine for a moment the journey this coin might have taken. From a bustling mint in South Wales to the pocket of a London commuter, then perhaps rattling in a child's piggy bank or lying forgotten behind a sofa cushion. Then, decades later, rediscovered, examined, authenticated, and transformed from spare change into a priceless treasure. That's the romantic power of coins. They are witnesses to everyday life and silent carriers of history, value, and mystery. Many ask what makes such coins worth millions. The answer lies in a triad of rarity, provenance, and allure. The 1993 Elizabeth II Two Pence is rare, possibly unique in its form. Its provenance is pristine, examined, verified, and celebrated by experts. And its allure is undeniable, a small artifact that contains within it the entire weight of numismatic fascination. And like all great treasures, its value isn't just monetary. It's cultural, historical, and emotional. In the modern world, where digital payments dominate and physical coins are fast becoming relics of the past, the importance of preserving and understanding rare coins like this grows ever more urgent. They remind us of craftsmanship, of legacy, of the tactile connection to our past. And they inspire new generations of collectors, historians, and dreamers. So, the next time you come across a forgotten handful of old coins, don't dismiss them. Inspect them, research them, and treasure them. For all you know, nestled in that clinking pile of copper and steel could be your own $25 million miracle. Top 4. Today, we unveil the mystery of one such treasure, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II Two Pence coin from the year 2007, a coin that has stunned collectors and historians alike, and now holds a staggering value of $11 million. To appreciate how such a modest piece of metal could become a modern legend, we need to travel back. First to the roots of British decimal coinage. The United Kingdom underwent a major monetary transformation in 1971 when it adopted the decimal system, leaving behind the old shillings and pence structure. It was a time of national adjustment, and among the coins introduced was the 2 pence. Larger than the 1 penny and made of bronze, it bore the promise of a new beginning, practical, efficient, and part of a cleaner system. Yet who could have imagined that decades later, one specific version of this everyday coin, minted in 2007, would rise to such astonishing fame? The 2007 2 pence might look familiar at first glance. Measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter and weighing 7.12 grams, it fits perfectly into the legacy design of its predecessors. The obverse of the coin features the right-facing portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, a design by Ian Rank broadly introduced in 1998. This depiction, known for its mature and dignified representation of the Queen, was widely praised for its realism and respect for tradition. The Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and around her profile are the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD. Short for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, Latin for, By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Beneath this regal portrait lies the quiet strength of centuries of monarchy and symbolism. Now, turning to the reverse, we encounter a design that, while often overlooked, carries centuries of heritage. The reverse side of the 2007 coin features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich Dying, which translates to, I serve. This motif has been used on the 2 pence coin since 1971 and connects the coin directly to the heir to the British throne. It's a design rich in symbolism and historical continuity, one that doesn't shout, but whispers with quiet authority. But why, among the millions of coins produced, is the 2007 version so exceptional? The Royal Mint's production of 2 pence coins in 2007 was routine on the surface. However, there was an anomaly, an exceedingly rare production error that led to the creation of a limited number of coins that escaped quality control unnoticed. A small batch of the 2007 2 pence coins was struck on planchets intended for different years or were struck with the wrong dies altogether. These misstrikes or mule coins are considered freak occurrences in the tightly regulated world of minting. But it is exactly these errors, these happy accidents, that send shockwaves through the numismatic world. Some of these 2007 2 pence coins were mistakenly minted with the old, new pence legend, a phrase that had been discontinued after 1981. For collectors, this alone is pure gold. The presence of the outdated, new pence text on a 2007 coin creates a glaring contradiction in chronology, one that simply shouldn't exist. These coins were never meant to see the light of day, and yet, against all odds, a few did. Imagine finding one in your change jar or lying beneath the sofa cushions. A coin with an identity crisis, a ghost from another era, a mistake that would go on to become one of the most talked about errors in British coinage. The mystery deepens when you realize how few of these error coins were ever confirmed to exist. With fewer than a dozen known examples discovered in circulation, each coin becomes not just a collector's item but a museum-worthy piece. Their value doesn't just lie in rarity, it's in the story they carry. A story of minting oversight, of hidden treasure in plain sight, and of a secret whispered through the metal veins of a coin that pretends to be ordinary. Numismatists around the world took note. As rumors of the misprinted 2007 2 pence coins began to spread, collectors scrambled to search their collections, pocket change, and family piggy banks. News outlets picked up the trail, fueling a frenzy. Auction houses saw skyrocketing bids when these coins appeared. The demand was immediate, intense, and unrelenting. These weren't just coins anymore, they were artifacts, anomalies, and objects of obsession. One such coin, with its telltale, new pence, inscription and flawless 2007 date, was sold in a private auction, shattering all expectations and setting off a ripple effect across the collecting world. The beauty of this coin lies not just in the mistake, but in its perfect imperfection. It teaches us that even in systems designed for perfection, human error has a way of making history. And in the coin collecting community, few things are more desirable than a coin that was never supposed to exist. The 2007 2 pence coin invites its finder to become part of a secret, to hold in their hand a paradox of time. It doesn't sparkle with diamonds or gold, but with a story only a handful of people can ever claim to touch. Collectors cherish these coins not merely for the money, but for the thrill of the hunt. Owning one means joining an elite group, a kind of treasure hunting society where history, metal, and fate intertwine. Every edge, every groove, every misprint becomes a portal to deeper meaning. Some coins are worth their weight in metal. Others, like this one, are worth their weight in myth. And myths are priceless, or, in this case, worth millions. Yet what's perhaps most poetic is how such a humble coin has ascended to such dizzying heights. In a world where inflation and digital banking make cash feel obsolete, this small copper-plated steel coin from 2007 has defied expectations. It reminds us that even the smallest things can carry the greatest value, that in our haste to chase after what glitters, we often overlook the gems in disguise. The 2007 2 pence coin is a wake-up call to numismatists and casual collectors alike. Always check your change. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. On HD ultra-rare coins, we have witnessed many remarkable stories. We've explored coins from ancient empires, coins that have survived wars, revolutions, and centuries of change. But there is something deeply satisfying about a modern coin with such an unusual twist of fate. It bridges the past with the present, connecting Queen Elizabeth II's legacy to the hidden quirks of modern minting. And now, with Queen Elizabeth II having passed and her long reign turning into history, such coins grow ever more meaningful. They become not only collector's items but symbols of an era, a tribute in copper and steel. So, after all the excitement, the whispers in collecting circles, the hush at auction houses, and the glint in a collector's eye, we arrive at the moment you've all been waiting for. Just how much is one of these incredibly rare 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence coins worth today? In an exclusive private sale facilitated by one of the top auction houses in Europe, a pristine era coin from 2007, featuring the elusive, New pence, legend, recently changed hands for an eye-watering $11 million. That's right. $11 million. For a coin you might mistake for pocket change. 11 million for a copper coin smaller than a cookie. 11 million for a minting mistake that was never meant to exist. And there you have it. A coin that proves you don't need to be gold to shine. A coin that reminds us the most extraordinary things often arrive wrapped in the most ordinary packaging. Keep looking, keep collecting, and never stop believing in the power of coins to tell stories, to reveal mysteries, and to change lives. This is HD Ultra Rare Coins, where every coin has a secret, and every secret has a value.